Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Now, in boxing, what you can't do is teach common sense to stupid. Okay, you just can't do it. But in this video, I'm actually going to have a little bit of an attempt at it. But I know that a lot of the people who keep talking about, well, Dillian Whyte should be fighting Luis Ortiz, they don't want to hear it, okay? They don't want to hear truth. They have their own narratives. Why? Because they're probably Wilder fans, right? Now, in the interview that I'd done with Dillian Whyte last night, what's that interview? We had a chat on the live stream last night. So big up to Dillian Whyte for spending a bit of time with us. And for anybody who hasn't seen that interview with Dillian Whyte, that will pop up at the end of this video. So I've actually clipped it from the live stream and put it as a solo video for you guys to go have a watch. Now, within this one, of course, we're talking about various things, but one of them was potential next opponent. And of course, he mentioned what some of the rumours are right now, and they are just rumours, such as Andy Ruiz Jr., Alexander Povetkin, and Otto Wallin. Now, Dillian Whyte, out of the bunch, he would prefer to fight Otto Wallin. Reason being, if it was good enough for the lineal heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, then it should be good enough for him. Okay, that's one reason. Another one, Otto Wallin is tall. Dillian Whyte is set to fight the winner of Wilder Fury. As when that's going to happen, who knows? But he needs to be preparing against tall opponents. Wilder, 6'7", Fury, 6'9". Otto Wallin, 6'5", 6'6", or something like that. So again, that's one of the reasons. And of course, the other one is Dillian says, well, he took the lineal heavyweight champion Tyson Fury to hell and back. So he wants to fight Otto Wallin to knock him out, to send a statement to the boxing world. So that's one of the reasons why with Otto Wallin. But of course, because he mentioned Alexander Povetkin in the comment section, I'm seeing quite a few, quite clearly Wilder fans, where they're saying, well, he should be fighting Luis Ortiz. He ain't mentioned the name Luis Ortiz. Now, this is where I'm going to try and educate the stupid, because what you're talking about is madness. First of all, since when does the number one, the interim world champion, and the mandatory challenger have to go fight somebody that, for example, ate Luis Ortiz? Why specifically Luis Ortiz? Who is Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz is a guy who's lost 2 of his last 5 fights. That's a fact. He's lost 2 of his last 5 fights. But again, people say that Dillian should go fight Luis Ortiz. Why? Because Wilder said it once upon a time. Which again, what Wilder said there is actually illegal. You can't say, go fight so-and-so, and then I'll give you a world title shot that you're already owed. Okay, you can't do that. But this is what the narrative is, the Wilder fans. So, Luis Ortiz. Okay, so Dillian Whyte, he mentioned the name Povetkin, but didn't mention the name Luis Ortiz. And they're saying, well, why should Dillian go fight old man Povetkin? He should be fighting Ortiz. Again, that in itself shows how stupid you actually are. You are aware that Luis Ortiz is older than Povetkin? You are aware of this, right? Are you also aware that Alexander Povetkin is an Olympic gold medalist? Luis Ortiz, to my knowledge, didn't even make it to the Olympics, let alone get a medal. Alexander Povetkin, former world heavyweight champion. Luis Ortiz, not. They both have 2 losses on their record. Povetkin against 2 different guys. Only ever been stopped once. Luis Ortiz has been stopped twice. Povetkin has a far superior resume than Luis Ortiz. But since when has Luis Ortiz been the marker for someone to get a world title shot with Deontay Wilder? A world title shot that he's owed. I'll give you an example. Has Tyson Fury fought and defeated Luis Ortiz? But yet Tyson Fury's got 2 attempts at Wilder. Did Dominic Brazil fight and defeat Luis Ortiz to get his world title shot? No. Did Bermane Stiverne? Did Chris Arreola? Did Arthur Spilka? Did any of these guys, Gerald Washington, did any of these guys have to fight somebody else in order to fight Deontay Wilder? Please name me one of these guys that Wilder has fought where they had to fight Luis Ortiz or somebody else that Wilder told him to fight. So if they didn't have to do it, why does Dillian Whyte have to do it? It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, again, let's go with the facts here. People say how the WBC ordered Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz. Yeah, they did. As secondary mandatory. Not as mandatory. Secondary mandatory. So that means he still wouldn't have got a fight with Wilder even in 2 years. So there's that one. And yes, he went and fought Joseph Parker instead. A former world heavyweight champion. A young guy. A fast guy. Again, a guy with a better resume than Luis Ortiz. Especially at that point. So Dillian Whyte took a higher risk. Also, Dillian Whyte did offer Luis Ortiz the fight on multiple occasions. And Luis Ortiz turned him down. Fact, not an opinion, fact. The last one was Dillian Whyte. He ended up fighting Derek Chisora, the rematch, when it looked like the rematch with Derek Chisora was going to be falling apart. He reached out to Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz said, nah, I don't want to come to England at the O2 Arena and headline a pay-per-view and get $1 million or $2 million. I'd rather fight on the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury undercard in Los Angeles for peanuts. Fact, not an opinion, fact. Luis Ortiz turned it down. So you guys who keep mentioning that Dillian Whyte should be fighting Luis Ortiz, quite clearly you are an idiot. Don't get me wrong. People would love to see that fight. I get it. People would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight. But ultimately, it's not a fight he needs to take. Luis Ortiz is nothing in comparison to a Povetkin. Has Luis Ortiz took the lineal heavyweight champion to the distance and busted up the lineal heavyweight champion? Has he done that? No, Otto Wallin has. Otto Wallin is also tall. Luis Ortiz, listen, he ain't short, but he's not tall. He's not good preparation for a Wilder or Fury winner. But even if he was, it makes no difference. Ortiz has lost 2 of his last 5 fights. Since when does... Actually, it only seems to be that Dillian Whyte is the only one who has to jump through Luis Ortiz in order to get a fight with Wilder. That seems crazy to me. That seems really, really crazy. So, yeah. Anybody who's running around saying how Dillian Whyte should be fighting Luis Ortiz, quite clearly, you're just a Wilder nut hugger. That's all it is. You're just one of those mad fans who doesn't really know anything about Luis Ortiz or probably even Deontay Wilder. Dillian Whyte, in his last fight, well, sorry, not last fight, but the fight before, he defeated Oscar Rivas. Look at the rankings. Look at the rankings. Oscar Rivas is ranked higher than Luis Ortiz. Just because you don't want Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte because you're afraid, don't try and put Luis Ortiz in the middle of it. Luis Ortiz got nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Luis Ortiz had his opportunities. No, I said opportunities to fight Dillian Whyte, and he didn't do it. He didn't take it. Deontay Wilder said, yeah, okay, you fight Luis Ortiz. If you beat him, you guaranteed me next. First of all, as I said before, that is illegal for him to say that. But second of all, Dillian Whyte actually responded to Deontay Wilder and said, okay, I'll fight Luis Ortiz, but you need to sign something that says that you will fight me next. And not only will I beat Luis Ortiz, I will knock him out. We can put that in the stipulation as well. I have to knock out Luis Ortiz. Wilder responded with, again, fact, I'm not signing anything. I don't have to do anything. I'm going to freeze you out for 2 years. That's what Deontay Wilder said. But yet, you Wilder fans don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear it. Again, I'm not talking all Deontay Wilder fans. We're talking the corruptible, brain-dead, zombie ones. Stop talking about Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz had 2 cracks at the whip with Deontay Wilder and lost them. He threw them away. He threw them away. He had Wilder in his pocket. And he threw it away. All right? So, no, Dillian Whyte should not be fighting Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is not a credible opponent right now. He just isn't. And if nobody else had to fight Luis Ortiz, why does Dillian Whyte? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.